Uh, it feels so weird, like looking at you mounted, or like having your
Mounted.
microphone mounted. Yeah, look at you mounted. The audio listeners are like, what is
Yeah, like
going
mounted.
on? No, your microphone mounted, and I'm holding it. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like I'm doing something wrong,
yeah.
kinda. But
I
what can you do?
forgot how yours was even because you've been holding it for so long.
Yeah, I know. Well, last couple of episodes, I've been on my knees holding it,
Yes.
right, and it just felt more appropriate that way.
Yeah,
It felt more showmany, kind of like,
for
oh yeah, he's
sure.
putting on a performance for
Yeah.
nobody,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Uh,
But now I'm just sitting here with it,
right.
holding it, trying to be mindful of where the mic is, so I can get good sound into it, but
Uh-huh.
without chopping my entire face off.
Right.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How's it look? Does it look like
So I'm looking. You could probably lower it more
lower it,
like that.
lower it? But
More.
now I feel like a newscaster.
Well, the
So
problem with how you were holding it, unless you do it like that. If you
yeah,
do it like that, then you're fine because it covers half of your face.
okay. Well, here we go. Yeah, it's been that way. So I got corrected the other day
About what?
about my hair not being cut.
What do you mean corrected?
Well, someone told me that I was falling off and that I should have had a haircut by now.
Who?
Now, this was a coworker,
What
and of
woman
all
is
people,
clocking your haircut?
no. This was a guy, and of all people, this was a bald guy. Now, when I first heard it, I was shocked because it was a white guy. So I'm thinking, oh shit, this guy can actually identify when a black person needs to get a haircut. Because I did. I needed to get a haircut, and I guess they're used to seeing me, you know, looking presentable, more presentable than I was before I got the haircut. But typically I don't think white people really know when a black person needs a haircut. Like that's always been my safe haven, like walking
Yeah,
around white people without a haircut,
for
knowing
the
that
most
they
part,
really
yeah.
just kind of don't know that I need a haircut.
Right.
Just like
There's
I wouldn't know.
specific white people that know,
Well,
but for the most
ones
part,
that have been around blacks,
right.
or I
Or who
guess
also, get fades.
there it is. But not this guy. This guy's bald. But then my second reaction in my head, and I didn't go there, was like, nigga,
I know. The nerve.
the bald guy
Yeah.
telling the guy with a full head of hair
He needs a
he
haircut.
needs to get a haircut. You would think you would encourage, like, hold on to that shit right there, brother.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Do not get that
That's
cut.
interesting.
Yeah. Are you able to tell when other races need to get
Their hair
haircuts?
done.
I'm terrible at it. Like you tell me your hair looks bad, and I'm like, looks good to me. Or you need a cut, or you need a.
I could see how guys wouldn't know, because, what do you know? What do you care about a woman's hair?
Would you be alarmed if I looked at you and I was like, your ends are splitting a little bit, babe? You need to.
If you were always that way, no. But if you started doing it, I would be like, what's happening?
Fair enough.
Because you
Ooh,
do
that's
pay
tasty.
attention to stuff. Is it good?
Oh yeah.
But not stuff like that, I guess. I'm trying to think.
And can you name one thing that I noticed that I said something about?
About my looks?
Mm-hmm.
Or like me taking care of myself?
Yeah. Has that ever happened?
No, but I know you pay attention.
Okay. Like
And
how
I
so?
know you pay attention just because the way you pay attention to everything else. So I don't think I would be an exception.
Okay. All right.
I'm thinking of something in particular, but I'm not going to say it on here.
Okay. Well, and here being the Feelings First Fact Checker podcast, people, thank you, aka the Monkey Hour, and this is Nathan Mitchell speaking to you.
Speaking to you.
And I'm doing this with the lovely Cristina, aka the Bougie Boricua. You know what I'm saying?
That's my new nickname.
Is that not you?
I don't think
You're
so.
not bougie?
I don't think so.
Not even a little bit?
I'm as bougie as you are.
How am I bougie?
Do we need to go there?
Go there.
You have special socks.
That's not bougie.
Okay.
They're socks.
Ask people. Ask how many people's socks have a
Okay.
R and a L.
Now let me ask you this: by special, what do you mean by special?
Yeah, exactly.
By special, what do you mean by
It
that?
could go either way.
Maybe you
It
should
could
take
go
a
either
chill pill.
way.
Chill pill before you
Okay.
get someone in trouble. Speaking of pill, have you? Well, maybe not you directly, but indirectly. Have you experienced issues with males our age in having ED, erectile dysfunction?
No.
I'm asking this because I've been seeing more and more ads about ED. Are you Googling something about me on
No.
erectile dysfunction or anything like that? Because you know, sometimes that's how the algorithm works.
Like whatever's happening on
Whatever's
like the
happening
Wi-Fi.
in the Wi-Fi, like someone had foot fungus issues. I don't know if it was you or whoever,
No.
but I was getting ads like, why am I getting this? I've never
I don't
looked
have
this
foot
up.
fungus.
And then now I'm seeing more ED stuff, and it's not just one pill. It seems like everybody's doing it. Maybe, and I'll give you some grace.
Me.
Well, yeah, because I still think you're possibly like, is my man doing it? You know. Anyway, some of the podcasts that I listen to, they have sponsors through
That makes more sense.
companies that
That
specialize in
makes
ED.
a lot more sense.
But it's just weird that would be leaking over into Instagram and things like that. But the main reason why I ask it is because I'm seeing these ads, and these ads seem to be showing people our age. And I don't remember ED being a thing that affected people our age. Like I remember back in the day, you would see Viagra commercials or
thought it was
Cialis
like
commercials,
grandpa.
and it was right. It was older people thing, like a Cialis. Ooh, go pop a Cialis, old man, kind of thing. But now it's ads geared towards people that are in their 30s, maybe even 20s. I don't know. Or
I guess you wouldn't know because men aren't talking about that. So it would be hard to tell. But if it's being advertised, I would
bring the mic
assume
a little closer.
it might be a problem.
Okay.
Which, considering people's lifestyles, maybe.
Huh. I don't know. Or is it this? Is it that the ads always showed people that were older than me? And because I was a kid watching these ads, these gentlemen looked like they were in their...
No, I don't ever think it was somebody in their 30s or 40s.
Okay. All right. Now I do know that these pills do also have like I guess you could say a quality to them that would attract someone younger or our age or younger or within our age range, because of the idea that these pills get you erect and they keep you erect for hours. So if you're trying to show off, or if you're trying to, we got this thing going on.
They're supposed to be sold like that. So I don't think that's proper advertising.
Correct. However,
even though like I'm sure people misuse them that way.
I think we're in a zone where people misuse every single pill. Ozempic gets prescribed for weight loss. Well, it doesn't get prescribed for weight loss. It gets prescribed for people that are diabetics, but it's been widely used as a weight loss supplement, right? So I could see a world, especially this world we live in now, where people abuse medications or misuse them, would take advantage of a pill that will give you an erection that's designed for people that have erectile dysfunction, but there's no dysfunction on your end. You just want to be able to last and have more control or whatever it may be.
Maybe
because technically, I do believe erectile dysfunction within that umbrella is also or underneath it a characteristic, the erectile dysfunction umbrella. So under that definition, I believe premature ejaculation falls underneath that. So it's not just always your ability or inability to get hard. It's also to maintain that and then ejaculate when you're actually ready to, as opposed to done. But you want it you want it a little bit longer. And it's yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
Well, you got to ask the women, not the men.
Correct. Like, yeah, hey, does your man have issues with this?
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if guys will admit that they've taken them.
Women would know.
If your guy's taking them,
Yeah,
how would you know?
you would just know.
What if I've been taking them this entire time? And you would you be surprised?
Well, because it's, first of all, doesn't that make you erect for quite a while?
Now they've mastered them to where you
have
get
more
erect
control?
when you're ready. Mm-hmm. Like you're not just walking around with a hard dick that needs to be taken down or else impending doom.
But also, don't you need to take that a certain period of time before you know you're going to have sex?
I think that was like 20 minutes,
Okay.
20, 30-minute window.
Okay. Well, then maybe you wouldn't know.
Correct.
I stand corrected.
I'm not.
Okay, thanks
I'm
for
not.
letting me know.
I have.
With me?
No.
Oh.
Not with
right.
you.
No, yeah.
But I have before.
No.
I've
told
tried
me that.
Yeah, I've tried Blue Chew. It was they had like a little free thing, giveaway thing.
A giveaway.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a real giveaway, but if you sign up for it and you put in like the promo code from the podcast, and all you do is pay shipping, and they give you a supply of it. But I've also used gas station pills before too.
Jesus, Nathan.
Yeah,
okay.
those are rough. Those would. Yeah.
Why?
Don't
so
do.
Dumb.
Don't do that.
Don't do the gas
Those
station
are
ones.
like high blood pressure city. Like you feel the blood rushing everywhere, including your head, and it feels like it's gonna pop. You lose a little vision.
Oh my God.
You're up though.
I bet
So
you
if you need to perform, if you have any sort of anxiety about anything, it'll get the job done. But you might need to seek medical attention.
You might have a heart attack.
You might. Fuck. Can you imagine?
I'm sure it's happened.
Pop a pill to get busy, and you.
I bet we
shit
could Google
the bed.
that.
Ugh.
And it's probably more common than
How
we think.
embarrassing would that be? I mean, you're dead, so I guess you wouldn't be too embarrassed. But just for her to find out later on, like, upon further analysis, like during the autopsy, we found out
I feel
that
like women would know.
that he's on pills.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I know women are good at finding some shit out, but I don't
Okay.
think you're good at detecting this.
Okay. If you don't know somebody
Mm-hmm.
and it's a random person,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you would know. But if it's
Okay.
how your man gets hard and what the, you just
Okay.
know.
Okay. I see.
Like, you know your man's dick.
Hmm.
If you're like, what? This is different.
So, fellas, if you're going to take it, either A, be consistent from day one,
Right.
or start day one or two times to get past that the sexual anxiety hurdle.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Especially if you know that after
It's
you get
gonna
past
be-
that,
yeah,
you're
you're gonna
good to
be
go, you
fine.
don't need it. And then get off of it and you're fine. And then save it for, would you be upset? Like, would you be upset if I was like, hey, look, we're going on a vacation. It's just you and I. It's going to be doomsday. Like, would you be upset if you knew that I just popped this bad boy in now?
I mean,
Like, would you feel like, oh, you
No.
got to pop a pill to be?
if you're doing it all the time,
No,
but
no,
if
no.
we just talk about it, we're just going to do it for fun.
Well, I guess especially now, I mean, you know that I don't have a problem with,
Yeah.
you know.
Now, if
Or do you know? Have you been Googling
oh my
it?
God, here we go. No.
Mm-hmm.
I have other problems, and that's not one of them.
With who? With me?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to talk about them?
No.
Okay. Do those need a pill? Can I take a pill for those problems?
Oh, goodness.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Speaking of pill, FDA has approved the first postpartum pill. How do you feel about that?
I guess it's how I feel about any pill for
Mhm.
depression.
Mm-hmm.
I understand sometimes they're necessary,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they have their place. I've never experienced postpartum depression. I know women who have,
Mm-hmm.
and for some it's been pretty rough. So I would assume that it's probably going to be helpful as a whole.
Okay.
I would think.
Okay.
I guess I'm trying to think under what circumstances do I think maybe they wouldn't or they could be misused. I guess since there's levels to postpartum depression and there's postpartum anxiety too. So, at what point is it appropriate to get on medication? And I guess that's all subjective.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this particular pill is a little bit different than your typical depression pill or antidepressant pill, like any SSRI out there. This one actually mimics progesterone.
And I guess what are the long-term effects? Because then that's my other question.
So I don't think that this pill is designed for long-term. I think it's designed for just the first couple weeks. And
or
even
months, even. Because sometimes you'll get postpartum months after.
Okay.
There's women who are fine, and then a few months later, you're like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Hits.
Yeah.
I want to say when I read the article was saying that the pill was designed for women within their first 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what that looks like as far as, hey, if you try to come back later on, like months in, and now you're saying that you have some issues going on, maybe because of it being a progesterone mimic, maybe at that point you probably would then qualify for more of your typical SSRI antidepressant. Maybe, I don't know. Didn't. The article really didn't specify that. It really focused on women that were, within that first 6 weeks of giving birth.
Nothing comes without consequence. So I'd be curious, like, what are...
So the short-term side effects are kind of wild. So some of the most common side effects include drowsiness, dizziness, diarrhea, fatigue, something I cannot pronounce, but it basically means the common cold, urinary tract infection, which also kind of alters your mental state. And then they said it can also cause depression.
That's what I wondered about. Like, once you get off, like, what happens?
Right. So I don't know when that depression hits. It didn't specify if the depression can hit while you're taking it or when you get off. There might be a dump, like if you're if your body's naturally producing, or if your body naturally produces something and now you take a pill or a substance to make it skyrocket, then what does that look like as far as your body naturally producing it? Almost like, like if you do coke, right? Then the next day you have a dopamine dump and now you feel the next day because you've basically excited all of those.
That would be my question. Like, what happens when you get off? I guess people will find out, and it probably just depends on the person. Just like with any, I mean, I know it's not the same thing like antidepressants, but
right. But that's such a weird thing where your side effect could be what you're taking the thing for. Right?
Yeah. Like, don't they say like some antidepressants could make you suicidal?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
I just know that those things are very hard to kick.
Well,
supposedly alcohol and SSRIs are like one of the hardest things, or two of the hardest things.
Because how do you go from barebacking life to having something help you cope to get off? Life doesn't get any easier. And now you have this thing that's helping you get through. Not that I'm knocking it by any means. I fucking get it.
But I think there's a chemical dependency aspect to it.
Right. On top of that.
Right. I don't know. But I think that this, when I first saw this, my knee-jerk reaction was, oh, great. This means that there are going to be more talks about this. That means
about postpartum depression,
period.
Okay.
Right. Which will only help people. And it seemed that it was really appropriate that they are now taking all of that consideration right after they decided to make it harder for women to get abortions.
Okay.
Right. So if we're going to force you, I know they're not forcing you to have a baby.
Yeah.
But I guess the knee jerk or the most extreme way of saying it would be, if you're going to force me to have a child, right? That would be, the idea behind, people that are mobbing behind the changes to Roe v. Wade. But if you're going to force us to get an abortion, at least now you're taking XYZ in consideration. It almost seems like, hey, and I guess this is what America's really good at. Hey, we have a problem here. We're going to solve it or try to solve it. So now you rely on Big Daddy again, kind of thing. So
it just
sucks that it's solved with a pill first. It'd be nice if it was therapy.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, my hope is that this doesn't end up putting women on medication who didn't really need to be on. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you might feel a type of way for a little bit, but it'll pass. It doesn't have to get worse. Like, I wonder if it'll be like quick to just be like, hey, try this, and maybe they didn't need it.
Or who's doing that screening?
But that's what I'm saying. What does that
like?
Look like?
Is just going to be a medical doctor doing the screening? Is in terms of, is this going to be your gynecologist?
Right.
Is this going to be your primary, or is this going to be
interesting? Because my gynecologist has never even asked me if I feel down or anxious. Which let's be real, that's a normal feeling.
100%.
To be down and anxious after you have had a child and you're not sleeping and you're still having to do life. I think anybody is not feeling themselves for a period of time. But no one asks you how you're feeling. How are you feeling? And really asking you. Okay, I'm good. Like, yeah, okay, everybody's good, but like, are you no one asks.
What about all the actual medical things that you had going on with you, to include the things that were probably medical errors that were not addressed, let alone how you feel?
Yeah.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
What? No, it's just to kind of get you going. But again, who's to say who's writing the prescription? Is it that person, or is it someone that is trained, like a therapist or some sort of mental health counselor?
You can get antidepressants from your physician.
Okay, fair enough.
You don't have to go down, depending, I guess, your diagnosis, but for the most part, I remember after I had my first, like a year after, I was having like, just life stuff, and I was talking to my doctor about it, and she was like, oh, you want to get on this? And I was like,
whoa, wait.
Like, they're quick to just be like, okay, just try this and try, a little dose, and you can work your way up. And I'm like, wait a minute, like, how do we get here?
Yeah. I guess the only silver lining would be with this, if it is designed to mimic progesterone, right? Then there's a way to get an objective measure, like a level of how much you have in your body, or how much you don't have, like if you're under,
that would
or if
be
you're
responsible,
above, and things like that. And if they do that, almost like you would with someone that says they might feel like they have low testosterone, right?
You can
you can check it, you see it, we have objective numbers, you're under this line.
Well, that
this
would be
line typically leads to you feeling these type of feels. We're going to now give you this. We're going to do it for X amount of time. We're going to have you come back.
Right.
We're going to take measurements
and see where you're at.
And if you're good, we'll take you off for a little bit. And then you could come back and see us later on if, in fact, these things, come back or they persist. Then we could do more blood work and check and yada, yada, yada. And then there's this exchange of doing things the responsible way.
I hope so.
As opposed to what you're saying.
Especially because women just get the shit end of the stick so many times when it comes to stuff like that. Ugh, I know it.
Yeah. Something as simple as birth control, which we now know, but we're not talking about the side effects that occurred through long-term use of birth control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I don't think that there's any nefarious intentions behind it or anything like that.
No, but it's irresponsible.
It's irresponsible. Right.
That's the thing.
Right. What is it called? Is it willful ignorance or something like that?
I mean, that's a thing, and I'm thinking,
is that what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of like when you know that there's a problem, but like you're choosing to just be ignorant just because it's like,
sure.
It's like, if we don't know, then it's okay, then we're not.
Right.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. No. I guess on the topic of children and people having children, I thought this article was pretty dope. That a woman discovered that she had 65, or she has 65 half siblings through her father, who was a sperm donor. Now, my animal brain went off, and I'm like, thinking like, kudos to this guy.
He understood the assignment.
People, exactly. Listen, people don't understand me when.
Are you sure?
When I say like, I'm not ashamed for having 4 kids, 3 babies. Like that doesn't. I don't feel ashamed by that at all. Now, yeah, in a perfect world, things would have been a little bit different, and I would have been with one woman, and I would have, all these other. But also, the animal in me goes, I would love the opportunity to have every woman
keep impregnating people,
a child of mine. Like I feel like that's the goal. Like I just want to spread everything, like a virus.
You get a car.
Yes, exactly. Now I wouldn't do that, but I look at guys like Future and I go, my man. I look at guys like Nick. Like I look at all these guys with all these children. I don't really give a fuck if they have their kids in their life or not. Like it doesn't. Like I'm thinking in terms of my jungle drums beat in my head.
Yeah.
Like, I hear this story, 65 kids, and I go, this guy, he gets it. And that's the ultimate like button. The ultimate like button.
Well, with the sperm donor for sure. With anyone.
Exactly. Because you know what? This is what I see. I see, he has 9 baby mamas. He had 9 women that kept his baby.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
wanted
for
better
it
or for worse.
And kept it for better or for worse.
Yeah.
I want it. That nigga's got something that I want to duplicate through me, right? This guy, someone, not is at least 66 women, right?
Yeah.
Flip through a book, flip it through pages.
Yeah. Women and men, because a lot of these people are coupled.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
He's getting approval from dudes too.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the one.
Whoa. Yeah, because watch this. That could have been like, no, never mind. I'm not going to say that. Anyway, but at least we know for a fact, 66 women approved this male, right? Flipped through the books, stopped on his page, looked at him, and was like, I want that in me right now. Right. Here's my credit card. Mm-hmm. Boom. Get it done.
Yeah.
Hold it down for 9 months. Spit it out. Loves the shit out of it.
Right.
And doesn't know him, but she's got his eyebrows. He's got his eye. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they people yeah, that's gonna suck. People think that having 1 million followers or getting all these likes and all that stuff, like that's validation. No. Getting people to choose your sperm out of every other college guy that needed $20 to squirt up a jar. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they chose you? Because I would imagine those books are pretty. It's pretty solid, right?
I have no idea. I mean,
and I'm saying books. It's probably not books. So. It's probably just like a web page now, and then you probably have filters. Like, what do you want? You want brown hair, blue eyes. You want it to be sick. Do you want it to have a degree? Do you want this? Like, I know it's a thing in terms of you had to be something in order to have your sperm have value. Like, you can't just go shoot up a cup and then they'll just give it to you. You're this ugly high school dropout. Like, that's not happening. Mm-hmm. Like, they could just find you anywhere.
Yeah, for free.
No. But if you want the lawyer who was an athlete and looks good and smells good, here you go. You can have him, but at an added cost. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Wow. Must be nice. I wonder if he wants them to contact, or like if he's okay with them contacting him.
That was it. Like there was no more.
No, it didn't go deeper. It didn't go deeper. Like, oh, she reached out to.
Yeah, because sometimes they'll just get into the whole story.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that doctor that was doing that. putting his sperm in.
Oh, yeah, but he was a creep.
No, disgusting.
Yeah,
but it just reminds, because it was the same thing. He had like 60-something fucking kids.
Well, and clearly he had the same drive to do it,
obviously, but just
the same thing that I was talking about.
Up.
Like the animal brain, like need to spread in order to, whatever. But he did it in the most creep way possible. He reminds me
disgusting.
I want to say it's a fish, but it's some type of fish that lives underneath another fish. Or maybe some sort of crustacean. I don't know. But
it's like a parasite.
It's like well, I guess it is like a parasite, but it's like the damn, I wish I could think of the name. Anyway, maybe I'll name the podcast that fish. Anyway, what this fish does is it lives underneath or really close by to an alpha, right? And then when the alpha gets a woman, right, a female, what it does is it then pops its dick out and impregnates the female because he wouldn't have been able to do it himself.
Ew.
So it's like a sneak type of deal. Yeah. And the alpha fish doesn't know that this one's here. So it's hiding somewhere. Maybe it's some sort of crustacean, I don't, or starfish or something. But it's something under the sea that infiltrates and pops out and
that's exactly what he did.
Because it can't do it on its own.
Yeah.
So it does it by hook or by crook. So that's what that guy did.
Yes.
The doctor, not the.
Yeah, the doctor.
The handsome sperm donor. You know what I'm saying? You ready to get into some monkey news?
Sure.
I should have called it that.
I was like, it hasn't been.
I should have called it that because people think when I talk about monkey, I'm talking about black people, and I'm not. I'm talking about the monkey shit. It's just regular old wild shit. I just call it the monkey shit. Everybody's a monkey to me. But today it just so happens to be we're talking about the new Black History Month, which is end of July, August, that time frame. It's been a black people summer for real. Like we've been in the news for everything. And now Lizzo is in the news because she is in trouble for creating an inappropriate work environment.
Inappropriate.
Right. And this one is going to be really interesting to see how this turns out, because it almost will well, I don't want to say it will set the tone, because I guess the tone has already been set as far as what males have been doing to women. But now we're seeing it with the shoe on the other foot,
right?
Where now the woman's in control and what they're doing to males and females. So not to say I want to see her found guilty of anything, because I don't want to see anyone found guilty of anything. I just don't like to see people just go through the shit. But I mean, if she did it, she did it. So it is what it is. But I'll be interesting to see how.
So like,
this turns
what
out.
were they saying?
So
what was she doing supposedly?
It was dancers.
Is it a lot of people? I saw it come out, but I didn't pay too much attention because I don't give a shit about Lizzo. So I'm like, okay, and I'm also not surprised.
No,
to be honest with you.
No.
So,
she's been doing wild shit the entire time.
She's been doing the most the entire time.
I feel for me,
So,
and I guess this isn't fair because I have never listened to a Lizzo song, right? Like, I know "I'm That Bitch" is one of her quotes, right? But I've never heard the song. I couldn't tell you where the song comes from. For me, she got popping when she shook her doodoo maker at that NBA game.
Or she had her whole ass hanging out.
Right. But when she shaking her ass?
Basketball game. I don't remember. All I know, she had like the holes, butt cheek holes on her fucking pants where there's families and like, come on.
So where I'm getting at is that I know her for her antics. I don't know her for her art. So in her music has just never hit my radar because I've never looked it up. But then I don't listen to the radio, so it's not.
It wouldn't be.
Okay, it doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me at all. So I know her for her antics, but I'm sure she's a phenomenal artist and she's brilliant. Clearly, she's a brilliant marketer because she's made it this far.
Okay,
I always give credit where credit's due.
I don't understand the hype. I've heard her music and I don't get it. Maybe it's just not my thing, so I don't appreciate it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
but
she's good
that's why
at
I said
selling
she's
herself.
a good marketer.
She's
I
good
agree
at selling
with
herself.
that.
Right.
But as far as like phenomenal artists, that might be subjective.
And it's just me giving credit where credit's due.
Okay.
Right. Because
yeah, but as far as marketing herself, and then I also feel like she just was at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
As far as like we're in this moment of love yourself, and she's, you know, a big woman who embraces that, and the world loved it. So I don't know if it were any other time or she looked any other way that she would be as popular as she is.
And
that's just my opinion.
We needed a big girl.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because Adele dropped out of the big girl role.
But Adele is a talent.
Oh yeah, Adele's something special.
Like the way you said that.
Yeah, no, because she's fucking talented.
No,
the woman could
talented.
go.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. I with Lizzo though, I don't get it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But that's I don't think it's for us to get. So there's that too.
Well, that's what
there's that too.
Yeah.
It's not
to
for
be
us.
fair. It's not right. Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
But we respect
right.
what she's done.
Right.
Because you're doing better. You're doing better than me. So there's that. I can't knock it.
But if she's doing the shit that supposedly she's been doing,
the number one complaint that I have been seeing is that she had her employees, right? Because I would say coworkers, but they work for her. So she's
writing checks.
Right.
Yeah.
She had her employees go to a party of some sort.
Okay.
And in this party, there were people that were getting maybe not fully nude, but at least showing breasts and doing just inappropriate things. And as far as inappropriate things that you would have your employee with you doing. Okay. So it's almost like maybe like a sex party or some sort of risque type of vibe or whatever.
And these are people like on the clock?
Well, I don't think they were necessarily on the clock, but they were with her, right?
Okay.
And while they were with her, she was encouraging them to get involved with the show or the event, the things that were taking place, which would have had them doing things like grabbing breasts or if I remember correctly, grabbing a banana out of someone's pants or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And they were not comfortable with doing it. And so she kind of peer pressured them, so to speak, into doing it. And then got the crowd that was around, got them involved. So I want to say that they went through and did it. Okay. And then after they followed through and they did it, then that's when they filed complaints.
Okay, so this was like a one-time thing.
But there were other things that she was, being charged for or being
accused
of. There it is, being accused of.
Because here, just to maybe like try to see her perspective a little bit, it gets kind of flimsy because essentially she's their boss.
Correct.
But I know like when people do things after hours and hang out, you kind of get a feel for how, this person is outside of work.
Correct.
So I don't know if you can really, fault someone for what they do when they're off the clock that might have not been your thing and you found that out later. Like I could see if everybody was working, this was business hours, you're getting paid for this, and she made you go to this party and she made you do these things and was paying you at the time to do that as part of the job, that's not okay. But if you're trying to hang out after work and then you end up seeing that your boss is a little fucking crazy, not that it's appropriate, but I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then
no,
maybe
I
at that point you're like, okay,
saying.
I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like, no thanks. I won't be accepting any more invitations on Fridays for happy hour.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I don't have the full details, so maybe we don't need to stay on this topic too long. But I'm thinking that it's quite possible that maybe in that moment they weren't reporting anything, but it's possible that then going into work the next day, now you have a boss looking at you like you're not down. Yeah. And then it carried through.
I know it can go right. I'm not taking away from the people, but I'm also like giving that there's, I can understand how it might sound crazier than what it was.
Or watch this. Maybe they didn't want to go, but they kind of felt
like
obligated to go,
right,
like
because everyone's going, and
and you know how that looks, like oh, well, oh, you're not one of us. You know, I mean, I could see a world where something like that could happen. Now, I don't know if that took place with her, but yes, but the thing that I found interesting about this is that this isn't one of those cases where it's completely black and white.
No,
like what we've been seeing in the past where males have been doing this to other males or females, right? It's usually been very direct. Like it's been sexual acts or, you know, show me your whatever kind of thing. Right? It's always been something that's pretty much black and white. This one seems like there might be a little gray area. But I think this one, if she's found guilty of doing said things, and obviously we'll get more information as this unfolds, if it is something that is kind of like what you're saying, hey, you know, come out after hours and do something, this will open up a can of worms for people that are doing things that are not direct harassment, but things that put you in a position to where you feel the need to do something in order to maintain your position or maintain your status or job or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Because again, I could certainly see a world where if everyone's out and about and then now you're not out and about, then now everyone's looking at you like the other. And they might have said some things about you in the past. So now you feel pressured to go.
No, I get it.
Because when you didn't go, then now people are looking at you like, oh, we can't trust this guy. We got to watch what we say around him because he's not cool. You know, he's not in the in.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Which is why it is a common saying, but we've kind of we've lost all these sayings that we've had before where you don't talk about religion or politics, right? We fucking lost that.
Yeah.
We've lost that. You don't shit where you eat. Like
what happened to that one?
Like these things are so important because you know what it is? These things are lessons that people before us have learned. So now they say, hey, I got the key to life here, to happiness, or at least happiness within this sector.
Or to, less drama.
Less drama. So this is what you can do. When you're at work, don't talk about your religion.
Right.
Don't talk about your politics. And don't shit where you eat.
Right.
And things are going to work.
You'll be fine.
A lot smoother than if you don't abide by those things.
Right. Yeah.
So, but what can you do? What can you do?
People will people.
Yeah. People will people. And Jamie Foxx is one of those people.
Jamie Foxx.
So Jamie Foxx has had the luxury of having one of the best rollouts I've seen him have ever. Right. And I love Jamie Foxx's work.
Same.
Like everything he's done. Like I'm there. His albums, his movies, his comedies, specials, all that stuff. I love it. And we heard that something took place with Jamie Foxx. We're not really quite sure what exactly happened. Right. We're not exactly sure what happened to Jamie Foxx as far as that.
But they were making it seem like they were planning a funeral.
Yeah, well, that just goes to show it's none of our business.
Right.
We're making something that shouldn't be our business.
Real.
Our business. And see, you know what? That's the sad thing. The sad thing is that we live in this climate where it's easy for things to appear that they were a setup, right? Because if you look at what the conspiracy theorists are saying, it looks like it could kind of line up, right?
Right.
So you have someone that's been out of the scene for a moment. Or a good amount of the media attention has been put on him. More media attention that I've ever seen him have for that span of time, and not for the body of work that he put out, right?
Right.
And then he comes out with a Netflix movie called Who Cloned Tyrone. But before that, there were rumors that he was cloned because now he's out and about and you see him helping out old ladies and doing these good things and yada, yada, yada. Is she moving around?
She is, but she's okay.
Okay. And now here he is. Oh, there's another movie coming out with him doing a talking dog film with Will Ferrell. And then another movie coming out, the movie that he passed out on filming with I can't say her name. You know what I'm talking about. The white lady.
There's a lot.
The one he's coming up with the movie with. The one where he had the
I don't remember. Is it Cameron Diaz or Gwyneth Paltrow or?
I thought it was Charlize Theron or whatever. See, I can't say.
You said that was her at the AMC.
See, they're all her. They're all her. This is the Robert De Niro.
When I was there, I was like, that's not Charlize.
This is the Robert De Niro, Al Pacino thing. They're all her. They're all, and I can't even say her name. And I chose her. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Anyway. But yes, unfortunately for him, I could see a world where people would think that this was all a stunt, all a rollout. But only because people have done shit like that before him.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier for us to go like,
and it's like, what do you do these days anyways to get people to talk about you if you're not half dead?
They gotta get creative.
You know what I mean? Right. Like what else is left?
They gotta get creative.
Care? What does he at this point in his career? What does he fucking care if people think he's dead?
Just so happens.
Surprise.
Here's a whole Netflix
Here's 3 movies I'm in.
Right.
Check me out.
Right.
He's probably dropping an album too.
I'm excited. Let's do it. But while he's on this run, and all he had to do is just keep his mouth shut and let things go.
Or not. Or maybe it wasn't enough.
I guess it wasn't enough. People will be people. And he put out a tweet that read, "They killed this dude named Jesus. What do you think they'll do to you?" Question mark, exclamation point. Now, he deleted the tweet shortly after because you know who came after him, right? We're not going to say it. We don't call them the small hats, but they came after him, right? And rightfully so. Now, he then came back and said that, I was out. This was a subliminal to a homeboy or, whatever. I'm paraphrasing, but it's something along those lines. But, Doc, the way that read, and I'm no player hater, but the way that read, when I read it, I was like,
how else would you have read it?
What was he thinking? Yeah.
What else is there to say?
Listen. What do I know?
I don't know.
What do I know? All right. Wayne Brady comes out as pansexual. I thought he was gay this whole time.
So did I. Yeah, I was like, okay.
When I read this, I was like, I thought
coming out because we all knew. What is happening?
Do people need attention that bad?
It seems that way.
Maybe I don't.
What does he have coming out?
Maybe him. The closet apparently. No,
Come on.
Maybe I don't understand it, and I'll give everyone that comes out the benefit of the doubt. But maybe I don't understand it because I'm not hiding anything, so I don't know what it feels like to
get it off your
chest and let the world know and yada yada yada. But it just seems so early 2000s. Like that ship has sailed. We don't care.
No one even cares.
No one cares. And we were sniffing you out from forever.
I love the show. He was gay.
I love the show that he's on. The Let's Make a Deal. I see him all the time. Very creative man. Very funny guy. And I've known him before that, but I'm saying like his most recent things, that he's on consistently is that show. But I thought he was always gay, or at least bi.
Right.
Which is gay in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is at that point. Isn't that crazy? That if a woman is bisexual, and maybe this is just the way I think, but if a woman is bisexual, I would never go, oh, nah, she's just lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I always think that she's just waiting on the right man. So she's just playing over there for a little bit. But if a guy is bisexual, I go, nah, he's just gay.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people probably think that way.
I also think that, well, 2 reasons. I don't know how lesbians get down, but all the way through. But I would imagine that there's some sort of penetration involved. right? So if there's some sort of penetration involved at some point, then you're cool with something being inside of you. So you're just waiting on the right guy, right? You're waiting on Mr. Right to make everything right, right? If you're a guy in a heterosexual relationship, you're not penetrating me, right?
Right.
So if you're being penetrated, then then you just this is what you like, because that can't be duplicated with you unless you throw a strap on. Right?
I mean, it
could, but I don't think. Good luck. I would imagine it would be
good luck. What?
Well, maybe not today's time.
Good luck. What?
Good luck trying to find a woman that's secure enough and that's okay with dicking you down with
I think the time is now.
Well, that's why I took it back. I was like, yeah, well, I guess the time is
if there's
now.
ever been a time, it's now.
Yeah. But another reason why I think that is because women are less forgiving with dealing with
don't get it fucked up. That would be like, I fucking own you now. Like, if I'm fucking you, like,
oh yeah,
like you're my bitch now. Like,
good luck.
Seriously, that energy exchange would cross over to every aspect, I think. I'm sorry.
How would you feel if I told you that I had a past with another male? I mean, early on, not now. And your silence is what I imagine most women would be like. And if you asked,
I'm running scenarios in my mind that like what kind of flags are going off. Because I could see, like, if you told me, like, I was a teenager and me and my homeboy, and it's like, we just touched each other or something, I'd be like, okay, like, guys are dumb. Like,
I'm talking about all the way.
Circle jerk, and it's like, doesn't mean you're gay.
Yeah.
But, like,
I've 100% been on, and especially in the 90s, like early 90s, where porn was not the same.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't as accessible as it is today. So you'll be watching a video and it's, hey, don't look over here, you're gay. And you're just jerking off, and you just decide, hey, you do you, I do me. We're in the same room together, but we're not looking at one another. I don't see your piece. You don't see my piece. And you just make it. Yeah.
Right.
But I'm not assisting them.
But, like, if you were with a man and let a man inside you.
Damn, why'd you say it like that? Why did it have to be inside me?
Because you said, what if I told you I had a past?
No, but what if I was doing the pushing?
What do I care?
So if I'm doing,
because my thing is that you're just fucking a hole. What do you
okay,
care?
okay. So there's parameters.
Yeah,
just okay.
I think so. If you're like, hey, I fucked a guy once, and I'll be like, okay, that's a little weird, but why? And do you ever, think about that? Like, I'd have questions. But I would look at that differently if a guy stuck his dick in you.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because that would take, like, you'd have to think about that. You'd have to want that. You'd have to make that happen. I think. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't either. I'd imagine if it's consensual, then yes, all right. Those boxes would be checked.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Because how do you want that? I guess maybe you thought you wanted it, and then you're like, no, this isn't for me. I guess I could see that.
Okay. Why? I guess technically, I don't know if I don't like it.
Oh, right.
I've never had it before. To be fair, right?
Yeah. Right.
Don't knock it till you try it, right? I don't plan on it, so I'm going to live this life of ignorance. I get it. And
no, I understand. So it would depend.
Okay. A guy would never be worried about that. Well, not never, but in most cases, guys would never be worried about that. If anything, would be like, dope. And now every friend you introduce us to is a potential threesome. Yeah. Like, that's what we're thinking. Right.
Yeah, I could see that.
So that's why I say, if he's bi, more than likely he's just gay, and more so because he's for the streets now. At least that's what most women are going to see. And like, he's for them. He will almost have to just be super discreet about it. Yeah. Because
I guess, like, what a woman can't bring anything to the table. You know what I'm saying? That you can't. You have extra. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about, like, it's not threatening for a man if his woman's like, I like to be with other women, I've been with other women, because it's just another woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I think when it's a woman with a man, I don't know if I'm fucking this up, like, I don't have a dick. Even
I
if
see.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same thing.
I see. Right. I'm not threatened because I could eat you out. And then I could penetrate you with something,
yeah.
or we could just scissor. I could just mash my ass cheeks up against your vagina.
We could do all the same things. I
could do whatever you want to do.
Right. If we're talking about it's just a sexual thing, obviously, right. But it's not the same thing.
Right, because even if what would be the biggest flip on two women being together, which I would imagine would be the connection that only two women can have with one another, like emotional.
Well, now we're talking not just sexual.
But I'm not threatened by that at all. But you want a friend that you could fucking talk to about your problems and not me?
Great.
Oh, okay. I'm not upset at that at all.
Right.
I'll be over here playing video games while you two figure that out. Oh, you're gonna scissor later? Okay, fine.
Oh God.
All right. What? But see. But that's why I'm saying guys would see it completely different than how, right, as inappropriate as you say that I'm being.
That you are.
Okay. All right. Can we talk about that Alabama brawl for a brief moment? And can we give a shout out to those?
Jesus Christ.
That was
crazy.
That was monkey shit to the max. It was snow gorillas. It was street cheetahs going at it.
I only saw parts of it and it looked crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody jumped off a boat.
Someone jumped off a boat and swam to the fight. Swimming to the battle, that is commitment. You know what? I don't fuck with anybody if they would not swim to the battle. To protect, and I don't even think these people knew one another.
No.
All these people, they just saw color. I have
so much respect for that.
They just saw color.
They saw this black guy getting fucked up, or he wasn't even getting fucked up, to be honest. But they were trying.
They were trying.
And somebody jumped off a boat and was like, "Not today, not today."
Yeah. Luckily, they couldn't do as much damage as they
should have been able to do. Yeah.
Right. Because all it takes is for you to just kind of coordinate a jump, and a jump can go wrong. But a jump goes in your favor when you have 10 hands and feet trying to do it at the same time, and things just don't, like, the follow through isn't that great. And truth be told, I don't think most people know how to really throw a punch.
Right, because most people are not having to do that often.
They're not having to do it, right? I mean? So when you're having to do it, it's like this thing that's just not.
Is that a natural?
No, it's not a natural thing.
No. Takes practice.
Exactly. Because he got up and he walked off and he took his shirt off and he was still ready to go.
Yeah. Right.
He was still ready to go and had multiple outs.
Yes.
Because he was being held back, and then the posse showed up.
How crazy.
They showed up and it was crazy. It was mayhem. And it appeared that the whites were on the losing side when it was all said and done. And then some hero came out with a chair.
Jesus Christ. Just when you thought it was over.
Crazy. A folding chair, like wrestling, professional wrestling.
Yeah. He lived out his fantasy that day.
God damn. I would have thought that he would have gotten arrested because the police actually did stop him after he cracked that lady over the skull.
That looks so crazy. Jeez. Oh my God.
I don't condone violence. I think it was all ignorant bullshit and it shouldn't have taken place at all.
No.
But if it's gonna happen.
If it's gonna happen.
And you know what? People say, these are ladies and look, in a brawl.
Yes, anybody can get it.
Anybody can get it.
The babies.
People don't understand. Blind, crippled, crazy. Like no one gives a fuck.
And I guess you're just in the zone, to be fair.
You're in the zone.
Right. Like
exactly.
You're in the zone.
In the zone. So even if you get in my face and you say, you need to stop.
Boom. Chair over the head.
Boom. She was on the ground though. He did her dirty. He did her.
Oh my God.
God, dog. But the cops stopped him, and I would have thought he got arrested. But I read in the article, because they released an article a couple days later, discussing what took place. So I guess the black guy that got jumped, I think he worked there, or he was supposed to be there.
Okay.
And then he was having a back and forth with the white guys because they weren't allowed to park their boat there or wherever they decided to park, whatever. And they didn't like it, so they jumped him. And I want to say those gentlemen were charged from what this article was talking about at the time. And then the article kindly said, for the gentleman who was swinging the chair around, if you could please contact our office for questioning.
Sure.
So I guess they didn't get him, but I don't think he's gonna be walking in and answering any questions.
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so either. And the best thing you can be if you're caught on camera is black, because then you could just pull the whole, what do you think we all look alike card?
Right.
Like, I wonder how often that works. What do you think we all look alike? That ain't me.
Pull an R. Kelly.
Right. I can't even pick a chair up. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But yeah. Not that we're off that. Are we cool?
So crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. Our main topic is about something a little bit more serious, and it actually kind of ties into the postpartum depression that we kind of talked about, but we were mainly talking about the FDA pill. But this is really going to highlight postpartum sex, or sex postpartum, and what that looks like, and how it's really not that talked about, or not as talked about as it should be.
Yeah.
Considering sex is very important to relationships, and anyone who says otherwise, you're probably not in the best relationship if you're not having sex. It just is what it is. Yeah. Unless you're, and let me rephrase that. Sex is so important to a relationship that it is important that both of you are on or close to the same spectrum as far as your sexual needs or activity or lack thereof it would be, right? So yeah. So if both of you are interested in having sex and having it often, then it is important that the two of you are there.
Right.
Now, if the two of you are not interested in it and you're past that, whether it be your lifestyle or age or a combination of the two, then sex really isn't going to be a factor, but it's still important that both of you are on the same page.
I guess.
So either
that
way
one
goes,
is flimsy for me.
Why do you say that?
Well, because, and I know you prefaced it and said like maybe age or where you're at in your relationship. Mm-hmm. But I think if you're of a certain age, like our age, and even a little bit older, or a lot bit older actually, because I would have a problem with it, I think. Like if you're both not wanting to have sex, I also think that's not okay.
Well, yes, I think that would be maybe something that you might want to consult your physician or your therapist with, because there might be some levels off. Yeah. But the argument that I was creating is these are two people who not only do they not want to have sex with each other, but they're just not interested in sex, period, the same amount of way. If that makes sense. Okay. So it's not like you'll be interested in fucking if it was somebody else. Okay. So it's not that you're not fucking that person.
I still kind of feel like that's not healthy.
Sure. But my argument would be, or the argument that I'm trying to make is that even though they both might be equally unhealthy as far as the sexual appetite is, they're at least on the same page to the point where this isn't going to tank their relationship, because it's not one person wanting it more than the other. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting at. Like the importance of sex is, as long as both people are on the same page or close to it, then you can at least have a healthy relationship as far as that aspect goes. Yeah. Okay. Whether it's fair. There or not, or whatever may be in between.
That's fair.
So, but this article that I was reading was highlighting how people, especially people that are together, because I mean that's pretty important. That this article is primarily focusing on couples, which would make sense. People that are having their first child that don't know what to expect postpartum as far as the sexual life goes. And also they mentioned people not having an understanding on what their sex life looks like during pregnancy and how that can change throughout the pregnancy until they were talking about 3 months after the baby is born.
Okay.
Which sounds about right. And I think that kind of reflects our relationship and how our sex life was looking closer to the pregnancy and then about 3 months after.
What do you mean?
The change that took place in our relationship during that time period.
Okay.
Which what I was saying was it falls along the lines of what this article was talking about.
Okay.
So basically what this article was talking about is just the importance of getting that information out there to people so that people don't run or couples don't run into the scenario of thinking that their sex life, like just theirs alone, is suffering because of the baby, thinking that there might not be any recovery from that.
Okay.
Right.
Like this is normal.
That this
it's
is a
part of the
normal
process.
thing. Right.
Yeah.
And
until it's not.
Until it's not.
Yeah.
So sexual challenges during pregnancy and postpartum are common. This article was saying that up to 88% of people who give birth and 45% of their partners experience problems with their sex life during this time. Now,
this is 3 months post. That's the time they're talking about.
So even during and then 3 months post.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So
now,
during pregnancy.
One thing that I found interesting is that they were very choosy with their words, and they said 80% of people who give birth, not women who give birth. I thought that was interesting, but that's no here nor there. But and their partners, which I think that could be a little bit more fluid, but okay. But I think that's important to highlight. And one of the main reasons that they were talking about, which is the number one thing that sets the women apart from the partner, is that you all are dealing with all sorts of changes in your body, both physical, so what you see in the mirror or what the world sees from you now versus what they were seeing from you before.
Yeah.
So adapting to that change, like, are you desirable? Are you this? Are you that?
Yeah.
But then healing, and then outside of healing, also hormonal.
Yeah.
So
and then not sleeping and tending to a baby, and
which
working and having other kids. And
exactly.
And all the things.
Life changing in general.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world, or at least it shouldn't be.
Right.
Like I can speak, just speaking for myself. So even the lead up to the birth of our daughter, right? I felt my libido per se slowing down. Now, I was not unfamiliar to this because this has occurred to me before, right? I start to get a little bit more tired. Like I feel like my energy levels are lower during the time of like later in the pregnancy, like closer to the due date than they are typically, right? I don't know exactly what this is. Maybe this is some sort of what is it called when guys get symptoms from pregnancy?
Oh, like I want to say sympathy. Am I saying the wrong word? I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I didn't want to have less sex, so I don't know what that's about, but okay.
What I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about you. So I felt more tired, and I've just felt like I just didn't have as much energy. So anything that I was pulling out of me, I had to pull out of me. I don't know what this is, but that just it just is what it is. And it's certainly after the baby's born. Now I'm just tired.
Right.
I'm out of my routine. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I really don't feel good about myself. I put on weight So I had that going on too. And I don't know how the hell that weight got put on because it wasn't like anything with me changed. I was still going to the gym.
And that would have made sense while I was pregnant, because it's like, let's just say.
Well, I was gaining weight while you were pregnant. And then I gained weight after.
You said you gained more weight after she got
here. Well,
here.
it was accelerated after.
Okay.
But it started before.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what that was. And maybe that just all ties into this whole energy thing. Maybe I'm not sleeping right, like I'm overthinking things or whatever the hell maybe. But I don't know. But at that time, during that time frame was when I shot up to around 210, which is the most weight I've ever seen on me, period.
Yeah.
I've never been that way before. So after the baby's born, now we're talking about just sleepless nights, stress. Now you're healing during that time frame. Yeah. So the idea of sex really isn't, on the table anyway, but it wasn't like I was missing out on it because that's the last thing I'm thinking of, because I have all this to focus on.
Right.
Plus I'm trying to still work and make sure that you're okay, make sure the baby's okay. And then everything else is coming with what was ahead, because we had things that were happening, because we just so happened to have a child around holiday season. And then that's when things just obviously accelerate for everybody across. So it was being spread very thin.
Right.
The last thing that I was thinking about was sex, even after you were healed and ready to go.
We talked about all that.
Right. But it wasn't that I wasn't necessarily desiring you because of anything that changed about you or how I felt about you sexually. It was just more of like, I'm beyond tired. So I'm out of my routine. I'm out of everything. So I don't even feel that. And then the pressure of, okay, well, when we start having sex again, I'm going to have to, build my tolerance back up, as far as, so it was just a lot of things. And then compounded with the pressure now of, oh shit, now I'm making her feel less desirable and I'm doing these things.
Yeah.
And even though it has nothing to do with her, but she feels like it is. So then all that was just added pressure. And that it was for, I want to say about the first maybe 2 or 3 months before we started seeing, okay, now we could kind of coast for a little bit. Things are in a routine. We're back in our routine, eating the way we want to eat, doing the things that we wanted to do.
Definitely after 3 months.
And then not to say it took us 3 months to have sex. We certainly had sex.
No, I'm talking about like some sort of normalcy.
Correct.
Not all complete normalcy,
Correct.
but like something like where we started to feel more human at that point.
But even then, I just want to be clear to the audience, we did have sex before 3 months.
Right.
We started having sex after you were healed.
Yeah.
Well, and what was that? Was that 6?
I think it was 5 weeks.
5 weeks, 6 weeks? Okay. But it wasn't at the same volume as it was before.
No.
So.
No. Well, and that was another thing too. Like,
we didn't have our bedroom.
It was so right.
And it was just,
and then when
right. Because if it wasn't her, then it was your daughter, or if it wasn't her, then we had other family here. Yeah. So it was a lot of a lot of moving parts.
And then it was like you weren't here.
Correct.
If you were at work, and then if you did come home, like then it's like.
Now I'm helping you. I'm trying to relieve you as much as I can.
Right. So
to get this going, it just didn't add up.
No. Yeah, it takes time.
Right. But the where was important too, because our bedroom was taken until a couple weeks ago. We did not have a bedroom. It was her room.
It was her room.
Because it was a short period of time where we all were in the bedroom together. And we were all in the bed. But I just was not comfortable with sleeping in the bed with the baby. I was so paranoid that I was going to roll over and harm her in some sort of way. I don't want to say the other possibility, because I just, So I want to say I left the bedroom.
She was probably like
a month old.
No, it was after.
Really?
Yeah. She was probably like 3 months.
What?
It was like February.
I lasted that long?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, I remember. And I remember exactly when it was too.
Okay.
Yeah. You had gone to Cleveland. I'm not going to say for what, but it was February. And then when you came back, you were on the couch for like months. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, she was like 3 months.
Gotcha.
And then,
but I think during that time frame, I was like in and out.
Yes.
So I would leave half the night.
Yes.
So
you weren't in the bed the whole night.
Right. I wasn't
Probably
in the bed
after like
before.
the first 6 weeks. You're right. Yeah.
And even that put a little dent in our relationship because you thought it had to do with you and her, and it wasn't that. It was just my brain couldn't cut off at night because I was just paranoid. So it made me more comfortable to sleep on the couch, as uncomfortable as the couch was, right? But it just at least gave me the peace of mind knowing that, okay, if I'm on
Nothing's
this couch,
gonna happen.
I'm not gonna hurt this baby. But I'm still ready to get in there and help and do what I need to do because I was still listening. But I just could not get rest, and then that led to both of us not being in the room.
Yeah. It's so wild to think about. Like, it seems like forever ago, but it was just the other day, but not really. Like, goodness, it's like.
So here we are sleeping in 2 completely different parts of the house because even when you left, you slept upstairs.
Yeah.
The baby was downstairs.
In our room. Yeah.
In our room.
You were on the couch.
I stayed on the couch because I didn't feel comfortable leaving her downstairs. With the entrances to the home.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I had to be there. So if someone came breaking in the door, then I'm down there. I don't have to run down the steps. Like I could protect her. Like I felt completely
and that was
disarmed by being upstairs. Like my baby's just unsecure.
Yeah.
And I could not cope with that.
Yeah.
But,
But even like, I don't know if our situation is familiar to other people as far as like space, even though it's crazy because we did have space, but I don't know, it just didn't work out because we have a lot going on in the house. So it's like, even though we do have the rooms and we do have the space, we didn't, if that makes sense. But just like how you're feeling, you know what I mean? And with everything going on, because some people could find the time and they do have the space, but then they're just not feeling it. Or like you're saying, like you got to ease back into it, or so many things. And we especially don't talk about it for women, and we especially don't talk about how the men feel about it.
Right.
And how for some men, maybe it does have to do with them not desiring their woman because she doesn't look the same.
Could be.
Like, I know it's hard, especially for women, to hear that, like, as shallow as that sounds, it's real for men. Like, you do need to be physically attracted to your partner, even though you can love the shit out of them. But to desire them, that still matters.
Right.
And it sounds men sound fucked up saying that, but there's truth to it, and we need to acknowledge that. So it's just so many different things that can affect that. I don't know. Yeah. It's
deep, and I would imagine that if that was the case, that's something that certainly wouldn't be admitted. Like
because how do you come back from that?
How do you come back from that? Like, hey,
especially when I'm sure the woman's already feeling like shit.
Right. Hey, I can't get it up because I'm not. Nah, I'm just like how do you go about that?
I mean, you just.
No, that's not me. That's not me. That's not my subtle way of saying that. Like that was my issue.
No,
not at all.
I understand.
Not at all.
But like, but a part of me feels like you almost have to get that out to work through it. Because what else is there? Because it's happening and she's already feeling it. You're just not saying it. So it's like everyone already knows what's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think there's a nice way of doing it without putting your foot in your mouth.
Right.
Because you're an asshole if you say that.
Right.
Like because you did this. Kind of thing. Like
right.
It'll come. No, fellas,
right.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Find ways to encourage her to get back on her diet, to get back to exercising, to get back to doing those things.
Right.
or even try to fuck the fat off of her if you can. I don't know. But what you cannot do is you cannot say that's you just can't. Our feelings don't matter that much. Like, they don't matter that much. You got to eat that.
Yeah. Or I guess you just know your man.
Or pop that pill we talked about earlier. There's that. Maybe that's what it is. All those pill advertisements were put out there to let me know that I need to tell the fellas out there there are other options. You can pop a pill. You can put a rubber band on it. You can stand on your head till the blood rushes down from your legs to your penis. And whatever you need to do, you just need to get it up and get it going. It just is what it is.
Right.
But you have 3 months to figure it out.
And that, I don't know. For me, I would say with my daughter, it was different. I didn't have a desire to have sex, but I didn't. That had more to do with how I felt about my relationship and my partner than it did really with anything postpartum. I know that now. And I don't know. Well, I know at that point, if I'm thinking postpartum, then I was trying to use that excuse, like, oh, maybe it's just me feeling these things because I just had a baby, blah, blah. But I know now that it was a bigger issue. So I don't know. I can't really speak to. I knew I didn't want to have sex because I didn't want to be with that person anymore.
Yeah.
So that's probably not like good advice. But for me, with us, like, I didn't lose desire. So I really can't speak to that. Even when I was tired. When we weren't having sex, I was thinking about it.
Okay.
So I don't really have much. Like, when I didn't want to have sex, I knew I didn't want to be with that person. And then with us, like, I didn't want to. It was just a matter of like, you know, how are we going to make all this happen?
I think it's safe to say that the energy requirements for me to have sex is different than the energy requirements it is for you to have sex.
I guess so.
Like,
yeah,
like I'm the one putting in the work, not all the time, not the whole time. But if we had to put a percentage on it, it's certainly higher than yours. It's not 50-50
to
split.
Be fair, that's
to
fine.
be fair.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's a different energy, but also I'm this is not my way of saying that I was doing more than you or anything like that. But it was like just the work, and then to come home.
You also, I feel like you and I don't operate the same. Like, you're very much like mission oriented.
Yes.
And like, so when you get in a zone,
my energy is
zone.
There it is. And I think that's you said it better than I can say.
Yeah, and I don't know if all men feel that way.
I don't know. But you said it better than I could say, because I didn't want to say that I was up more than you or I was working harder than you or anything like that. But that's what it is. It's when I'm focused on something and the goal was to work, be a father, be a helpful partner, right? Do all those things. Plus wear the other hats that I had to wear during those time frames, like during the holiday, during the spring break, and all that stuff. Then that's where all my energy is going to.
Right.
Anything else, I don't have time to put it there, because I need to do this, and I'm just boom.
Right.
Get it done. And then once I'm able to, you know, kind of worry less about those things, then now I could put my energy somewhere else.
Right.
Because yes, I've never, at no point in my life can I say that I've ever been distracted by pussy or distracted by anything that I didn't need to be distracted by. And when I'm focused on a mission, accomplishing something,
right,
like nothing's gonna get in my way. It's not gonna stop.
Yeah.
And so at that time, the mission was provider. In all the ways possible.
Yeah.
Make sure that I'm bringing in the money, and make sure that you're taken care of and the baby's taken care of. Primarily you, because if you're taken care of, then the baby's taken care of.
Right.
And then I can take care of the baby as well. And then take care of, you know, the other people that were in the house.
Right.
So, yeah. But at no point At no point did I say to myself, ugh, I just can't. Just that body's just not like it.
And I guess for me, and we talked about that on here, but it was that horrible episode where I don't even think you could hear what we were saying. That's when we had the conversation about postpartum sex. Remember the episode that went all wrong with the audio?
Is that a real thing that happened, or is that something that
Yes.
was a fake thing that happened?
No. Remember the episode where you almost paid $1 million to retrieve the audio to fix it? Did you forget?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, that episode we talked about this kind of.
Yeah.
So it was a shitty episode. So I don't know if you
But that
blocked that out. Holy shit! I'm looking at you.
That was so traumatic.
You had no idea what I was talking about.
That was so. Of course, I blocked that shit out. That was fucking traumatic. Because that was
I
such a
have never seen
good
tears in
episode.
your eyes until that day.
I didn't cry.
No, they were. Well, they were like there. You looked. I've never seen you that upset.
I was upset.
I've never seen you that upset.
Yeah.
That was you were upset.
Wow.
But
and I felt like that was one of our
because it was
best
really
episodes.
real.
Yeah.
And like, because we were talking about that, like all the postpartum stuff, and I was going to say that because I know how you are, and you're a sexual person, and because I know that it is very, I need a better word than shallow.
Just
when
say
I'm talking
shallow.
about, okay, because I mean it is. I was trying to make it sound nicer than it is, but like looks matter to you, and I know that there's probably a certain weight that if I were to hit that, it would be a problem, and you've been very upfront about that. Like you're like, I would love you, but I wouldn't want to fuck you, and I'm just being honest, and so I know that. So I was feeling self-conscious, you know what I mean? Because it's like I was like, oh God, like I know I don't look how I used to anyway.
Yeah.
And here he is, like it's not even on your radar. So we had to have a conversation about it.
But that had nothing to do with that.
Right. And I mean we established that then. But at the time, how I was feeling.
That was a tough pill to swallow. Because you were probably like, oh, he's just saying it. And he just doesn't want to hurt my
because you
feelings.
just said, don't ever, you wouldn't.
I know,
you know what I mean?
It's one of those things where, fuck, you say some ill shit, but then you got to go, but not me. And then it's like,
no,
or
I
could
know.
it be? No,
right.
no.
I also know that you wouldn't lie to me. So I do take comfort in that.
Correct.
Even if because you have hurt my feelings.
Okay.
With honesty many times.
Well, and I've told you this from day one. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I'm not afraid to hurt your feelings.
I know. I know that. So when I did have to be like, okay, if he's telling me this, he must be telling me the truth, because he has said shit that he knows, not to be an asshole, but just because truth needs to be told, and it is what it is. But you know what I'm saying? To be fair. But,
You know how you should know that I wasn't feeling that way is because I would have brought that bike home to you by now.
I know. I need to get that. True.
But
you would have to. It would have been in the back of your truck a long time ago.
If I would have felt like this bitch needs to get on this bike tonight.
You did buy me a jump rope.
I did, but I bought us a jump rope.
Okay, true.
But only because you said you were going to work out with me.
Yeah.
And that's never happened.
You don't work out with me.
You don't work out with me.
Okay.
I'm working out.
I know. We can't go to the gym together.
Why not?
We have a baby.
So?
Okay, let's go.
You could put her to bed and then we can go to the gym.
Anyway.
I think our time's running out.
Yeah.
The baby is moving around. We're looking at the monitor. We have the monitor. And she's wiggling around. She knows that we're talking about her and how she's destroyed our sex life.
She's like, what? Yeah. Say what?
Like,
oh, I'm sure she's happy about it.
Oh yeah, she loves it. She loves it because now she gets all the attention. If they're not fucking, they're holding me.
Exactly. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
And okay, to be fair, I guess they talk about the first 3 months, but even after,
it's not
looks
the same.
Different.
Because I guess this is something that's really exclusive to first time parents and having to understand that your life when you have a child just completely changes
Forever.
in all different ways, to include your sex life.
Right.
Because
not that it still can't be great, but it's not going to be the same.
No.
Especially if you were used to a good sex life prior to. Because
Right.
some people just don't have shitty sex lives. So what's the difference?
Right.
But like if you did have a sex life that looked some type of way, it's not going to look the same.
We can never fuck the way that we used to fuck before we moved in with one another.
This is
because
true.
my house was
right, because no one was here.
No one was here.
Right.
So even then, sex at your place was completely different than sex here because we didn't have to worry about anyone hearing us.
Right.
We could walk around any way we want to walk around.
Right.
You don't have to cover up, yada, yada, yada. If something was squeaking, we made it squeak louder.
Right.
Now it's completely fucking different.
Right.
Even something as simple as if something starts squeaking, we got to slow down and reduce the intensity.
Right.
Because the last thing we need is fuck.
Anybody waking up.
Anybody.
Not just the baby. I know. Right. So.
But that comes with being in a relationship and just the changes that comes with before there are little people and then after there are little people. I mean, it's just
even when speaking to even when the desire is there.
Correct.
If that's not the issue.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Correct. Yeah, I guess as she gets older, it should get easier, and then it'd be like, weekends at Nana and Granddad's type of thing.
Right. Or we decide to be those parents that are,
Oh, I had friends like that.
That are transparent and go.
I had friends like that. It would be like their parents' doors was closed and people would be at the house and it's like you just knew, like their parents were fucking. I love that.
I don't.
Kids.
You know what? I don't see anything wrong with that. Only because I think it's important, especially nowadays. I think it's important that people understand, like, this is how people connect and bond and they love one another, and it's a normal thing.
Yes, right. All this secretive shit. How the fuck do you think you got here, motherfucker?
Right.
Like, what is happening?
Right.
No, yeah, I had friends like that.
I think it is absolutely crazy that we refuse to show a sex scene in a movie, right? In a movie, if there's a sex scene, we might see some titties, we might see some ass, right? Occasionally you'll see a penis, right? But it's very, very, very seldom.
Yeah.
Even you might see a bush, but that's not a vagina. That's just hair.
Yeah.
Right? And then you just kind of know what's happening because they go on their covers and they giggle and yada, 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 and that's it. So we're very hush-hush with showing lovemaking, right? Lovemaking.
Yes.
We don't show lovemaking. But we will show full on kids, people getting their head blown off, babies getting killed,
no problem,
decapitation, right? You can watch people get their arms sawed off. It's and no one, there's you don't have to guess what's going on in that scene. They show you everything, everything. So I think it's just so crazy that we champion those things and we highlight those things, but then when it comes to
or we just don't see a problem with it,
right? But when it comes to the one thing that we can all say that we are a product of, most of us, because we have some test tube babies not running around here, but for the most part, most of the people that are walking around here are a product of two people having sex,
right?
Whether it was making love, fucking, whatever it may be,
right?
Sex took place. Now you're here. And we have to pretend that we don't do this.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Yeah. I feel like that's just such a disservice, to your kids. Obviously there's boundaries.
1,000%.
Jesus Christ. I hope, I hope I don't have to say that, but like.
Yeah, we're not inviting the kid into the bedroom and come watch us.
Relax.
And shit like that. No.
Right.
But like.
No.
But if something's going down.
What? If mom and dad's door's closed.
Yeah. Mom and dad's doors are closed. That means don't come knocking. Leave us alone.
Exactly. We'll be out in a little bit.
We can put a little clock on there.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be out in 30 minutes.
What's wrong with that?
Leave us alone.
Right.
Oh. Solving the world's problems or not. You ready to get out of here before we overstay our welcome?
Yeah.
Yeah, she gave us enough warning shots. All right, people. So this is episode 99. The next episode will be episode 100. We are still on the fence as to how we're going to do it, because in a perfect world, we want to make sure that the studio is back to what it was before, or maybe even better, just to make the 100th episode
special. Yeah.
And fun and exciting and all sorts of stuff. And
maybe a cake.
Something. I don't know. But the thing that's stopping us now is my parents are coming in town, and they're going to be in town tomorrow and all the way through next week, which is going to stop us from being able to utilize this space here. We might be able to get away with using it this way, but we're certainly not going to be able to get away with using it in the way that it's intended to be used. Mm-hmm. So there may or there may not be an episode next week. And if there is an episode next week, we're thinking about doing something a little bit different. Yeah. Just to kind of not count it as the 100th episode, because technically, I think technically we're probably like episode 102 or 103. But I'm only numbering the episodes that we do that's based in the usual Feelings First, Facts Later podcast type of vibe, so to speak. Like the Michelob's a Melanin Hour, I didn't count those. That. And I want to say I didn't count the ones that we were doing with the very first book review that we never completed. The All About Love by Bell Hooks, which, by the way, is a phenomenal book, and it's a phenomenal read, and you should read. What movie did we see it in? Oh no, it wasn't a movie. Show. It was the show. It was a show that we may or we may not be talking about in the next episode. But yes. So number wise, as far as what this show is mainly about, the next episode that is about what this podcast is about would be episode 100, but we're past 100 episodes if you count every single episode that's ever been put out before. But it's possible that it might be 100 episodes that you have been on, because there have been 3 episodes that I did with Sue, and then the 2 Michelob and Melanin Hours that I did, and those were solo episodes. Did I do 2 or did I do
think there was more.
Michelob's and Melanin Hour? Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3 or 4.
Okay. I don't know. But that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
So, to be continued. Yeah. But you will see us around. We will more than likely be back next week with something, even if it's not in front of the camera. Okay. We'll try to make sure that we do something, so we're not creating a habit of missing weeks without our voices being put out there for the world to listen or to not to listen. Just whatever, just out there. But thank you for rocking with us. This has been another episode of the Feelings First, Facts Later podcast with Nathan Mitchell and Cristina. And this is the podcast where we saying shit, but we ain't saying shit. Have sex. Peace.